early with Brandon Tate as the return man. We are underway in week 3 of the preseason. Tate fields it inside the 10 and is drilled just shy of the 20. Exceptional coverage. Kamale Correa on the hit. Safety. Sean McCoy, the deep back. He'll get the carry on first down, and he gets the typical Ravens welcome. 2 magic words: no gain. Dean Pease defense has been spectacular in preseason. Tyrod Taylor's first pass complete to Tate, but only for a couple of yards. And Lardarius Webb right there to knock him out of bounds. Down on the opening possession. Blitz pressure coming. Taylor's pass way off the mark. Excellent coverage by Jimmy Smith. 3 and out. Job well done by the defense. Michael Campanaro awaits. Campanaro will return it from the 25. Weaves his way to the 30, and that's where Ryan Mallett and the Ravens offense go to work. Terrence West in the backfield. Off the play fake. Mallett has to escape. Finds Mike Wallace at the 37-yard line. That would be a 7-yard gain right out of the gate. Turning at center as well. Terrence West on second down. He's got a hole, and he's got the first down across the 40-yard line. For the insertion at fullback of the rookie defensive tackle Patrick. To give his to West on first down. Not a whole lot of room, maybe 3 yards on the play. We saw Patrick Ricard last week on the road in Miami. Learning the play call and the quarterback cadence is the most complicated part. Mallett with time. His pass batted down at the 40-yard line. Sharice Wright, the former Raven corner. Buck Allen in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Mallett going down the sideline. He's got a man there. Incomplete. Looking for Wallace. Wallace wanted the flag. Brandon Tate handling the return duties for the Bills tonight. Sam Cook. His punt fair caught by Tate inside the 15. Sean McCoy in the backfield. Tyrod Taylor to throw. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. Terrell Suggs got a hand on the ball.
By the veteran Suggs.
Puts the Bills at a 2nd and 10. Taylor to throw again. Pulls it down. His pass incomplete. Great coverage by Lardarius Webb, and a late flag thrown for everybody, including the officials.
2 fouls on the defense. Pass interference defense number 21. Penalty is declined. Also illegal contact prior to the pass. Defense number 57. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards automatic. First down.
Driving me nuts, the amount of penalties they've had.
Tyrod Taylor fumbles the snap and falls on it. So the Bills will have it 2nd and 11 from inside their 20-yard line. Never a good sign for your offense when your quarterback is surprised. Taylor to the ground game. McCoy crossing the 20-yard line, but not very far. Gets 2 on the play. It'll set up a 3rd down and long for Buffalo.
Which it looks like they're doing right now. Maybe get the ball out quick.
Ravens rush 5. Taylor can't escape. He is going to be sacked inside the 15-yard line. And Matt Judon finishing off Tyrod Taylor. Ball away for Buffalo is Colton Schmidt. He'll be kicked to Michael Campanaro. This one's returnable. Campanaro will bring it across midfield. And he'll take it down to the Buffalo 47-yard line, giving Ryan Mallett and the Ravens offense exceptional field position on this drive, coach, to see how he performs in his 2nd play. Patrick Ricard in at fullback leading the way. And the run game with Terrence West on the carry will get about 3.5 on first down. Go 5 wide. Quick release over the middle. He's got his man Spoke Mizell. Spins inside the 30 with a Ravens first down. Formation. Boyle, the tight end on the move. Give us to West, and not a lot there. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe half a yard. And ready for the regular season as well. Off the play fake. Allen on the run. And he'll have to get rid of it as he was running out of room, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Backlund comes in motion and looks confused. Mallett throws complete under coverage to West, but he'll be taken down far shy of the first down. Morgan Cox with a snap. Sam Cook with a hold, and Justin Tucker puts it right down the middle.
Justin Tucker territory. So yeah, that's exactly the game plan that right now we see as winning formula for the Ravens.
Brandon Tate takes the kick inside the 5. He'll weave across the 30 before bounds across the 35-yard line. A year ago, 38 of 39. That's what he's been doing. LaShawn McCoy carrying a first down. Flag is down as McCoy is taken down by Tony Jefferson after a gain of about 4.
And
Holding.
LaShawn McCoy.
Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And McCoy
Series.
It's just tricky.
Tyrod Taylor is out, however, after undergoing concussion protocol. It's Nate Peterman who throws complete to the 40-yard line.
To his defenders, annoyed with them for they allowing a single first down even via penalty. So even though it's a preseason game, the attitude for this defense is never relent.
Ready for the regular season since I'm not going to see a snap next week against New Orleans.
On third down, Peterman's pass is complete to his tight end Clay, who spins out of the Eric Weddle tackle and picks up the Buffalo first down. Opening quarter, Ravens up by 3. Give us to McCoy, running up the middle, trying to bounce it to the outside, and Brent Urban will have none of it. Drops him for a loss of 2.
On the inside, gobble up the blocks, and the linebackers have got to know where to fill.
Kamale Correa on the blitz, pass is complete inside the 40. That's Clay, the tight end, taken down at the 39 by Lardarius Webb, and it will be just about a yard shy of the first down with an 11-yard gain. Flag prior to the snap, as Buffalo will back itself up.
Wow.
False starts. Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It's like pressure.
Nathan Peterman facing that pressure. He's hit, and it's intercepted by C.J. Mosley at the 43-yard line of the Ravens. Darius Smith brought the pressure. Intellect, or hopefully they are, and players are leading with emotion. Bumped by Colton Schmidt. Will bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
During the kick, holding, return team, number 16. Result of the punt is a touchback. Penalty will be enforced from the 20 to the 10. First down, Baltimore. Timeout.
Here's a point of concern. Team Dr. Leanne Curl taking a look at Justin Tucker. On first down, Buck Allen will carry the ball out to the 13-yard line. Let's go. He didn't take the advice from Terrell Suggs to just kick the ball and get out of the way. Buck Allen will carry. Mallett tumbles on the handoff exchange. And a gain made.
More of his neck's a little bit sore.
On third down, Ryan Mallett stepping up in the pocket. He'll run and lunges across the 20-yard line. That should be good for a first down. That's why it didn't look elegant, because you could tell he was thinking slide and then realized if he slides, you don't get the first down. Screen pass on first down. Mizell weaving his way out across the 30. That's good for 11 yards and a Ravens first down. Through that block.
And to get a guy like Mizell with nothing in front of him, that's a good place to be. Nice little jet reverse here.
Jeremy Maclin on the reverse doesn't get far. Maybe 3 yards into the passing game that he's going to try to help Phil a little bit. Ryan Mallett throws on second down. His pass is complete to Buck Allen for a short gain to the 38-yard line.
In the offense.
Buck Allen the back on third down, gets the handoff inside carry, and he'll stretch it across the 40-yard line. First down, Ravens. Give us to Terrence West off right tackle, and West has room all the way out to the 49-yard line on the final play of the opening quarter. And short, Buck Allen. Across midfield, flag is down. Allen inside the 35 and pushed out of bounds by Micah Hyde.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback. Offense number 18. 15-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Second and 17. Mallett wanted to throw a screen. Bills had it red. Mallett has to put the ball in the turf. It'll be third down.
Quick draw here or a dump off to see if they can run without taking a chance.
Mallett with time, complete Matthews out near midfield. It'll be shy of a first down by about 2 yards.
Well, and the safety was in there looking for it.
We had an eclipse in the U.S. this past week. Watch Austin Howard pass block. He is a human eclipse. The defender just disappears. Sam Cook's punt, fair caught by Brandon Tate.
So they've got the bodies to replace the total numbers. It's just not going to come to 2 players.
Sean McCoy is drilled as he hits the 20-yard line. C.J. Mosley closing the gap.
Behind that second level of linebackers.
On second down, Peterman. The swing pass is deflected by Terrell Suggs for the second time tonight. Field position. Interesting front here. 7-man front. Flag is down. Peterman's pass complete across the 35. Play will have a first down if the play stands.
Legal formation. Offense. Number 73 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
For the Ravens defense.
Pressure. Drop out.
Peterman is going to be able to get out of the sack, but drops the ball and finally recovers his own fumble at the 8-yard line. And again, pass rush pressure
To him, and the quarterback paid the price.
Colton Schmidt punting out of his end zone to Michael Campanaro. This one has room for a return. Campanaro crosses midfield and will get to the Bills' 46-yard line on the return. Reps against that number 1 Bills defense. Woodrum on the inside handoff. Buck Allen slices his way for a yard to the 45. So
The Buffalo Bills. So this is going to be a good read on Josh.
off the play fake. Woodrum buys time, sprints his way to the 40-yard line. Backtracks a little bit where Lorenzo Alexander brings him down. Woodrum out of the gun. Lawson's got a man open and just let him too far. Mike Wallace was open inside the 15.
Built one of those quick angle routes out of the backfield. Oh, baby.
A snap that sails back into Ravens territory. Woodrum has to heave it out of bounds to avoid a huge loss on the play. And they're going to spot him down all the way back at the Ravens' 32-yard line.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 1. Spot foul, loss of down, results in a change of possession, first down Buffalo.
LaShawn McCoy will get the play fake. Peterman rolls to the right. His pass is incomplete as Jalen Hill applied the stick to the target on the play. Andre Holmes.
Coverage there.
McCoy on 2nd and 10, bottled up. He won't get anywhere. Carl Davis.
He timed it up just right. He's got a good sense for the game.
On 3rd down, flags down, pass complete inside the 30 and down to the 24-yard line.
Illegal formation. Offense number 79 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
So that puts the Bills into a 3rd and 16. Peter throws quickly. Complete to McCoy. He tries to weave his way back between the hash marks and he'll only get a yard at most on the play, setting up a 4th and forever. It's like Jalen Hill in the secondary. Colton Schmidt's punt. Flag is down, and the punt will bounce inside the 10. The Bills will down it at the 2. But a flag down back at the 45-yard line of the Ravens.
There's no foul for a low block on the play. He's on to the play. First down, Baltimore. Timeout.
Up to the goal line has Buck Allen in the backfield. They'll give it to Allen, who slams forward and does not get anywhere. Ramon Humber with the tackle.
Down the field.
Has 3 receivers and looks to throw. And his pass is complete to Chris Moore at the 10-yard line. He's pushed out of bounds, a yard shy of the first down. Touchdown. He's regretting that on 3rd down. The give it to Buck Allen, and he'll be stopped shy of the first down. A flag is down.
Holding. Offense number 78. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Cook hits a beauty. Tate fields it inside the 35. Turns one corner, flag down, as Tate is down shy of midfield.
During the kick, holding, return team number 49. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Buffalo.
McCoy remains the back, Peterman at quarterback. Quick release for Charles Clay. Clay will be tracked down by Matt Judon after a gain of 13 and a Bills first down. McCoy with a gap and closes quickly. And he gets to the 40-yard line, a gain of 3. McCoy on second down, trying to get to the outside. Flag is down. McCoy will get about 3 on the play. Ballard.
Offense number 64, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
And great job. This is not the starting Raven defense here now. They're doing it. And again, nice job. He learned from Terrell Suggs. Carl Davis now. He says, I was watching.
Tate, after he had to track down Charles Clay on 3rd and forever, a screen pass to Shady McCoy. He is buried. Bronson Calfusi on the stop. Another loss for the Bills. 6 possessions and now 6 punts for the Bills. Flag down as Colton Schmidt hangs a wobbler. Campanaro fields it 35, brings it across the 45 and out of bounds there on an 11-yard punt return.
Illegal formation. Kicking team number 42 is not on the line of scrimmage. That 5-yard penalty will be tacked on to the end of the run. First down, Baltimore. Timeout.
For him, because he does everything and never complains. So I'm trying to be like that.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Scoring drive here with 4.5 minutes left in the opening half. Give it to Smoke Mizell, sweeping to the left, and he won't get around the corner where Preston Brown brings him down. Gain of a yard. Jeremy Zuta, the old center, is the new center. What was old is new. Josh Woodrum stepping up, his pass incomplete. Looked like it was on the money. The flag is down.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Danny Woodhead. So it's going to be a good, well-rounded running back core. There's not a 350-yard carry guy in there. It's not an overpowering running group, but just diversity.
Third down. They're 2 of 7 on third down conversions. Flag down. Woodrum screen pass to Mizell. They're going to net maybe a yard on the play.
An illegal formation. Offense number 78 was not on the line of scrimmage. Penalties declined. Fourth down.
So I want to give a defense an indicator as to what you're doing. Here's another penalty.
False start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Well, you used to have a practice segment called alignment, assignment, and technique. You practice where you're supposed to line up. Sam Cook will punt it away. Tate with a fair catch inside the 20-yard line for the Bills with 2.5 left to play in the opening half. 4 times.
See some conventional offense until we get to the 2-minute break, and then maybe a 2-minute drill.
Peterman's pass is complete to Andre Holmes. He'll pick up about 8.5 on the play. Peterman's pass off the mark.
With 3 timeouts in your bucket.
Peterman on third down, his pass intended for Clay, incomplete. The Ravens defense again doing the job, forcing the Bills 3 and out.
And inside the 2-minute, they don't have to burn one of those timeouts.
Darius Smith made contact with a punter. A flag is down. Fair catch by Campanaro. Gene Steratore, the referee, doesn't have to
running into the kicker. Defense number 90. It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Holding the Bills to only 31 yards. Rookies take over next week on the road in New Orleans. First down pass complete out to the 40-yard line. Zay Jones on the reception. Robertson Daniel with the stop. They'll mark it a gain of 9.
Situation in a game that is 3-0.
Peterman's pass batted down. 4th block pass of the first half.
A lot of arm he can put up there to knock this ball down.
3rd and 1. Michael Tolbert will pick up the first down as he churns the ball out to the 47-yard line. First down pass. Peterman down the middle. He's got a man open. Clay can't hang on to it. Offensive lineman, who, as we have seen, can block the passing lanes. Making Peterman's pass is complete inside the 45-yard line. Coming down with the reception, Nick O'Leary, and he just keeps showing up. Flag is down on first down. Peterman is going to be taken down by Tim Williams after he crosses the line of scrimmage to the 40, so not a sack.
Was in the
Offside.
slot.
Defense number 69 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
In the league right now, you're going to be able to do that. He's up here in the slot right now.
First and 5. Peterman's pass is complete inside the 30, and down to the 25 is Charles Clay in the blue shirt, along with a member of the Marines. Peterman going for the end zone, and it is broken up. but a flag thrown on Sheldon Price, who had the coverage.
It's hard.
Pass
John Harbaugh
interference.
can't believe it.
Defense number 27. Spot foul, automatic. First down.
Right or wrong, sometimes your team's got to see you do stuff like that to know that you're fighting for it.
Peterman pass complete to the 1. Zay Jones taken down there by Jalen Hill and Peanut Nwasu, who keep him out of the end zone.
You know, again, what do we say about Jalen Hill? He just seems to have that sense.
Give it to Mike Tolbert. Tolbert crashing down to the goal line. Officials converge. Still no signal. And now a touchdown signal.
But
so
New
the
York
booth is going to have to review this.
Correct.
Tolbert was hit by Calfusi.
Yeah, the question is, does
Bradley.
it break the plane before his knee hit the ground? It looked like it did.
Who started his career as a free agent tryout with the Ravens, won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks, and delivers the extra point.
I mean, what is going to be a challenging 3 weeks.
And why depth is such a big deal. Kick will be dribbled down the middle of the field, and the Ravens will fall on it at the 24-yard line. Final play of the first half as the Ravens will head to the locker room trailing the Bills after dominating Buffalo for most of the first half. But the bottom line is they trail Buffalo 7 for the last year and a half for the Ravens. Start of the second half, Moore will get a returnable ball. Takes it inside the 5, looking for his wedge, and he runs into a wall of Bills instead. Drop him at the 15. Taiwan Jones with the tackle.
Receiver or DB that can do that role, maybe an opening for a guy that might not otherwise be here because you need to get it for that roster spot for that return man.
Woodrum on first down, complete to Chris Moore.
Developmental squad.
And at fullback is Patrick Ricard. He is the up back leading the way for Buck Allen. The dive play will yet net only about a yard. Third down and inches. Allen gets around the corner, has a first down and more, as he is leveled at the 33-yard line by Jordan Poyer, but he keeps the offense on the field. Ricky Ortiz at fullback now as Buck Allen runs up the middle across the 35. Got about 3 on first down. Woodrum in the gun on second down. Bills bring a blitz, and Mazzell gets drilled at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Out of the backfield that I like.
Blitz pressure coming. Woodrum throws complete to his tight end Larry Donnell. That's the first time we've seen a tight end make a reception tonight.
Watch how the Gunners do. Can they bleed? They're both one-on-one on the outside. Can they beat that one-on-one coverage down the field?
Rashad Ross settles under the Sam Cook punt with a fair catch inside the 8. Dark side. You know Suggs is going to give you a rift.
I know.
Bills on first down. Mike Tolbert will get the carry. Tolbert run down by Chuck Clark, the rookie safety, draft pick.
You know, the amount of preparation and the things that goes into putting a team together. And they're not looking into it right now. They're not looking into just this season. I'm not walking out on the practice field for minicamp. Just passing the eye test. They got a lot of good-looking, big physical guys. And I don't think we've had that in the last year. Definitely not since the Super Bowl year in the dirt. And I tell you what, man, he's going to be a player. He's going to be really good. And the most important thing is Terrell is taking him under his wing. I mean, he's like a little puppy dog, man. He follows him around. You know?
And now you got to be part of those conversations.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when they talk about different situations, and I don't know. I learned a lot, but I don't know. I think I learned more all this crap that we deal with. I wish I just appreciated the game more like I did at the end of my career.
Ravens testing out the run defense for the Bills. They won't get far on the carry. A gain of about 2.
One thing that was resounding when I was out of practice was every coach, because I like asking about the young guys that I don't know.
Griff Whalen on the reception to stretch the ball into the 40-yard line and then some.
Tradition here in Baltimore, and you're part of that, Greg. But you don't, other than Terrell, you don't have a lot of guys here that it's not like they all started here or they've been here. So
if you do things in this organization, to me, I believe it's different than every organization. Like, if you show up early, you're a good guy, and you're nasty on the field.
And this city will embrace you as a broadcaster this season when you join us on the radio broadcast in the regular season. Quincy Adebojo unable to make the catch on the third down pass from Josh Woodrum.
What are the outside linebackers? What is the corner away from the ball doing? And I'd like to bring a different perspective because I feel like most fans just kind of watch the ball. But there's 22 guys on the field, or 21 guys on the field that don't have the ball in their hand.
From this point forward, as the Bills start inside their 5, Nathan Peterman handing off to Mike Tolbert. We'll get it out to about the 12-yard line.
Ready for the season. How many did you think you need? A full game's worth, game and a half?
I would say 60 snaps across 4 games.
Right.
So you're going to get your 10, 12 snaps in your first game.
Series. Right. Now it's stars don't see the 4th game.
Yeah, I had years where we didn't even dress for the 4th game, and then my years in San Diego, and I think my early years. Well, I wouldn't start my early years with you, but
JJ, how long does it take a rookie free agent like that to win the approval of veterans in the locker room?
It doesn't take very long. I asked Eric Weddle the other day at practice, give me some young guys who you like.
Because he was so technically sound, he held that edge.
Josh Woodrum on first down the seam. Vince Mailey with the reception down at the 39, but he did not hold on to the ball, and a missed opportunity for the tight end. Opportunity. 2nd and 10. Woodrum in trouble. Escapes. And gets across the 40-yard line on the scramble before DeAndre Coleman puts him to the turf. Some of us just have friends who have both, and we're grateful for it. Woodrum on the scramble again. He'll slide down shy of the first down at the 45.
Only 4 players that, okay, are you going to make this team? You're going to be developmental squad. But the league is watching.
Rashad Ross with the fair catch at the 12-yard line. Bills ball when we get back. That's what we mean these days, Brian, about a player's feed.
Well,
the quarterback for Bills, TJ Yates. Journeyman veteran intercepted by Jalen Hill.
Guess who?
Hill working his way across the field to the 20-yard line. And he's run out of bounds inside the 15.
6 cents for what's going on. Quarterback thinks he's safe. Now, this usually breaks down a deep one when a quarterback can get in the back. He had a guy underneath, but he saw that the linebacker was going to buzz underneath. I'm going to run underneath this thing because I know someone's in behind me. This is just...
Smoke Mizell, the lone back. Woodrum fumbles the snap and is going to be buried in the backfield back at the 21-yard line. 2nd and 16. Woodrum from the gun. Complete to the 14-yard line. Smoke Mizell with the reception. And it takes the ball out of bounds. That sets up a 3rd down and 10.
The end zone or get a first down.
3 wide receivers. Woodrum with time. Pass complete. Mizell stretches. Touchdown Ravens! Taquan Mizell.
Standing throw.
And there's your 2 favorite stories of the summer. Jalen Hill setting up Josh Woodrum.
This is what we got to see. He's looking left. No. The check down is that little angle route. Safety stayed a little high. Great job by this. This is a matchup you don't want to have. Mizell just quick enough against the linebacker. No, he's going to give you something in return game.
Kenny Allen's kick returned by Rashad Ross. 15-yard line and wrapped up there. Chuck Clark, nope, Vince Mailey.
When people would show me, I'd say, great. So I just go and run the ball 25 times and I'm done, right? I can just go home.
If only.
Not quite.
Bills go to the ground game. Joe Banyard with the run. He'll get it out to about the 32-yard line.
Out in Adrian Peterson, and they're going to run the ball more. But I've seen that defense, and we're going to see it next week in New Orleans. I don't know that as much as they want to, I don't know that they're going to hold up. Who knows that? Marty Morningwig knows that. And there's a lot of different ways that's going to look. They know, there again, a batted ball. At some point you figure out, this isn't going to happen.
If you make it on this team as a defensive player, you're going to make it on the field for DPs. Pass is complete across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Bring them into the culture the way you were talking with Jared Johnson about. Yates off the play fake, scrambling. He'll be chased out of bounds by Tyus Bowser.
Nice disciplined job by the secondary. But they respond well. They're covered on the backside, and they recover. They don't quit. That corner just got beat across the field there.
Ball caught a touchdown pass from DeMario and said, let's celebrate. And DeMario started to dance for him. I thought John was just going to crack up laughing. It was such a joyful moment to see a young boy like that. Have to enjoy it. We start the 4th quarter. Joe Banyard will get the carry for the Bills, and he won't enjoy running into that defense. He's not playing well. We'll see what he does here in the fourth quarter. Loose ball, and the Bills will fall on it. Correa was in on that previous
nuance of a given position. They think the fact that he's been able to settle into that position this year has helped a lot.
Comes hard on the blitz, chases Yates out of the pocket. Yates will scramble and slide down at the 38s, shy of the first down. An aggressive play that time.
See if this offense can convert on third and medium.
4th and 4. The pass is intercepted by Peanut and Wasu. He left it on the turf, but the offense comes on as they turn it over on downs. We'll start in the shotgun just shy of the 40-yard line. Inside handoff to Smoke Mizell, taken down to the 43-yard line. In space, his ability to play with the ball in the air. Lewis rolls out on 2nd down, pass complete to Mizell, and Mizell out close to midfield. He'll be right at the first down marker. Bills bring a blitz, and Rainey is buried under it. He'll lose a couple back to the 45-yard line. When you look at the play of Smoke Mizell, he's obviously in the mix, and on the run is Bobby Rainey, and Rainey will take it down to the Buffalo 43-yard line. Larry Donnell, the tight end, goes in motion. And they give it to Mizell, and Mizell will have a first down on the run at the 40-yard line.
To make this team, and at every turn, he's taken every opportunity, and you got a lot of young players doing the same thing. I always used to tell the players the very first night of camp, what do they really like as a player?
On 2nd down and 3, Lewis off the play fake. Nice athletic move, and he will scramble for the first down and more. Inside the 20 before he steps out of bounds, and a late hit.
Out of bounds.
Late hit out of bounds. Defense number 96. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
Toes. It's 10 yards, it's 10 yards. Here's Mizell, big hole up the middle, spins his way down to the 1. A flag is down as Mizell to the goal line.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Somebody's team. And he picks up a penalty. Thaddeus Lewis. Slant paddle pass is complete. Quincy Adepojo down to the 12. The regular season, he was a member of the Buffalo Bills. I'd like to throw one here. The ground game, a sweep. Mizell fumbles the ball out of bounds, causing the fumble. 3rd and goal. Pocket collapsing. Lewis tries to escape, loses his footing, and he's sacked back at the 23-yard line for Allen's success. Allen's kick is up. It is good. Kenny Allen delivers from 40 yards.
On a team where you'd figure those starters may not kick that much, because why? Why put him in that much since you're going to have opportunities?
Sean Ross with a kick return for the Bills. Bottled up inside the 15-yard line. Great kick coverage. Allen to hit a 40-yard field goal. Joe Banyard in the backfield. Yates' pass complete across the 20-yard line. Robertson Daniels had the coverage, working at the game plan for the Cincinnati Bengals. But we will see some great job battles next Thursday night on the road in New Orleans.
With a full training camp roster, the starters in there.
Here comes the blitz pressure. Yates' pass complete to the 40-yard line. Tywan Jones, the back, will carry. Bounces outside to the 46, and he's flipped off his feet by Chuck Clark.
Real well.
Tywan Jones carrying off right tackle, and he is stood up. No gain, lost a yard. Back to the 45. Tim Williams. Ravens, a lot of young, enthusiastic energy and a very bright future on the edge. Yates in trouble, escapes, crosses midfield, and slides down the Ravens' 40-yard line. Rick Ricard, another of those rookie free agents with a great chance to make the team. Pass complete to the tight end, Logan Thomas, taken off his feet by Robertson Daniel after a gain of 7. Ball, and then next Thursday night on the road in New Orleans, it is full-on job battle time for the young guys trying to get those last roster spots. Joe Banyard will carry on 2nd and short, maybe gets a yard, 2 yards.
Looks like they're going with the two-play mentality right now. 2 shots to try to get the first.
Yates going to the near sideline. His pass is incomplete. Well covered on the play. He was looking for Philly Brown.
Usually a lot of times you see a quick slant. Oh boy, how many times have we seen this?
Flag and a fumble, but the whistle blows before the snap was blown.
Saved him.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Okay, don't talk about penalties because we don't want them to. That's all they're thinking about, but that's all they're thinking about.
Great 6. Yates' throw is complete at the 15-yard line. Coming down with the reception. The network presented by Geico. Bills in the Grill Mates red zone. Yates with time. Pass complete to the 12. Ball loose. Ravens say they have it.
Wow.
It came out.
Look how excited that sideline is, too.
And
that
the
would be
Ravens
awesome.
recover. Yates with the pass.
And look how many bodies are around the ball.
And it's Onwasu not only recovers it, but causes it. Willie Henry had the initial hit, but the strip from Onwasu. You know, Brian, when you first came into coaching,
Get a turnover. That's a mentality that's fostered by Dean Peace and this young defense on the field right now.
the Ravens will use a ground game with Lorenzo Taliaferro getting the carry.
Put Drew Brees on a short field 1 or 2 times and we'll win every time. And that mentality. Now it's risk reward because all of a sudden now, you know, they're dragging for extra yards and you're giving up a lot of yards. Who are 50 of the 53 are right now, 51 of the 53. But how comfortable are we with that 52nd, 53rd man? Like we talked about, the 90 cut down to 53. Get him to the 53. Now you got to trade for him. Now we're going to make you pay the price. Now we may eventually have to.
Sam Cook takes the punt, and he's going to run out of the back of the end zone with the safety.
Reminiscent of the Super Bowl.
Kill the clock. But the time goes back to the time it was prior to the snap, and it's a penalty.
And the reason being, you're rewarding a team for committing.
Puts a missile down to the 15-yard line where Rashad Ross will return across the 30. Well, the Bills will have 32 seconds left to work. I think it's as much for the coach's confidence as the players.
Sure. And I always used to tell the players.
TJ Yates pass off the mark and incomplete.
I used to love to tell the players that.
Ravens lead is 4. Yates up top, and again, good coverage by Roberts and Daniel as Yates is buried. Players, that means you keep fewer tight ends, fewer fullbacks. Pass is complete out to the 45-yard line. Gets out of bounds with the ball, stops the clock at 17.
If we have time, but knowing the need for defensive linemen in this league.
Yates way over.
Put that list back up.
Is either the quality of a starter or a future starter. That's how good this defensive line is. Yates throws a strike to the 35-yard line. But tackled inbounds is Brandon Riley, and the time will expire, and that'll bring us to the end of the 3rd preseason game. Jalen Hill with the defensive play of the game as the Ravens win it 13-9 over the Buffalo Bills.